Good evening, Lake Orion. Welcome. How you doing? Nice day out today. Well, I'm your host, and this is Between Taorminas. Yes, indeed, Lake Orion. How you doing? This is Between Taorminas. As you know, this week, Ian Weatherspoon is not here this week, so we replaced him this week. We replaced him with good friend Andrew Owish. Andrew, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. I want to talk about the Lions a little bit.
You're gonna get me started already. You're gonna get me opened up already.
Now, first things first. Do you want to blame Ian Weatherspoon for this because Ian went to the Lions game?
Yes.
And why?
Here's why. And I know Pat Caputo would agree with me.
What?
Yes, he would. You can blame Ian Albert Weatherspoon for this game for the Lions losing because, one, the Lions had a 21-3 lead against a team that really had no business being there. And then all of a sudden, the sudden change. Here comes mighty Phillip Rivers coming in, scoring touchdowns, and finally solving what Aaron Rodgers always likes to do. You throw the quick pass, which minimizes the pressure, and then that leads to touchdowns. Rashid Mathis is the next Dre Bly of the Detroit Lions, and we all know what Dre Bly was in Detroit. Terrible, pathetic, excuse, a waste of talent.
And you're blaming Ian for this.
Yes.
Andrew, what's your take?
Well, I think my take a little bit more calm than Sam's on this one, but it was bad. It was just bad. I wasn't fortunate enough to have. I was at my grandma's house, didn't have any cable, but I was listening to it on the radio, and it's 21-3.
Right.
Okay. I'm like, all right. Lions are making. I'm thinking. Of course. Typical Lions fan, I'm thinking Super Bowl 50 over here.
What?
And then,
all right.
and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, 21-10. Like, okay, doable. 21-13. Also somewhat doable. We have the ball. Okay, Matt Stafford interception. There's the same crap we see every week.
Right there,
okay, 21-20. Okay, I'm uneasy. I'm in the car. Threw my phone at the floor. It's okay. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of got a little worse. A lot worse. 21-27. Okay.
Ooh.
So then,
When it 21-20, then it was 20.
21-27. So we're here. Lions have the ball. Okay, understandable. What happens? The usual happens.
Yep.
They get the ball back and they score.
Yep.
The Lions get the ball back, and it was literally 30 seconds, boom, we score. So what happened in the second half? To where we couldn't do that? Why can't the Lions play like they're down, like how they should? Well, they were down half the time.
They were down half the time, but
why couldn't they play like they were down?
Let's see.
A typical coach and a normal players would play like the clock is 0-0, like you're always trying to score to win. But no, they're playing conservative, trying to run the clock down. Running the clock down in the third quarter.
Let me get to your point there. You know how many catches Calvin Johnson had?
1, 2.
2.
Yeah, he was on my fantasy
Here's
team.
why. Why was Matthew Stafford stupid enough not to throw to Megatron?
Because it's the Lions and it's Matthew
I
Stafford.
agree with you, it's the Lions. Now, don't give me the excuse of the heat and the temperatures. Don't give me that
That's
excuse.
crap.
Because the Lions wore Honolulu blue. I've criticized their jerseys, and this is why the Lions are a cursed franchise. They have been cursed since 1957, and you know what? They're not going to win another championship, not in my time, not in your time,
Ooh,
not in any time.
Yeah, they're the Avalanche of the NFL. So let's just put it that way.
I agree with you. They're the
That's just all.
Avalanche
I mean,
of the NHL.
it's the Lions. Every year we're always hopeful, but then at the same time it's
The Avalanche of the NFL?
a little bit. Actually, a lot of it. Disappointment.
All right, what's your take about the Lions this week against Minnesota?
They got to do what they did in the first half and then do it again in the second half. That's all I got to say.
They're not going to stop Adrian Peterson because here's why. If the Lions can't stop Melvin Gordon, what makes you think they're going to stop AP? And then you got Teddy Bridgewater, who I think is going to be the most improved player this year. Because the question is, does Minnesota have receivers? That's the question. That's the million-dollar question. The reason why, and the Lions, we all know, is shot right now.
Yeah, they're like a freshman football team who put the fourth string people in like third quarter.
I agree with you. They don't make
A
adjustments.
freshman
well.
football team? Eesh. That's
Yeah.
harsh.
I agree with you.
That's harsh.
I mean,
All right, continue.
this is why I like Minnesota in this game, and the Lions are going 0-2 this week. Because one,
You said they would go 1-3 last week.
not with what they played with last week. I think Minnesota beats the Lions this week in the worst way possible because it's gonna make even the most loyalist Lions fan just throw something at their TV. I mean,
They've
you
worn
wanna
paper
watch-
bags before.
You want to watch?
You've worn a paper bag
You
before.
want to watch good football? Watch Saturdays. My God.
All I can really say is that from a true Lions fan, I think that the Lions this year are going to start 2-2, first 4 games. I think
Kinda
it's
like what I said.
I think it's reasonable. You know, I'm not going to be the Lions fan that says 3-1. You know, reasonable 2-2.
Ian said they would go 3-1. So.
You know, if the way they were going last night, I was thinking 4-0.
Ooh.
I mean, that's how it
Going into
looked.
Seattle and winning in Seattle, I don't think so.
I mean, Seattle just lost.
Now, Seattle just
Bills.
lost. That was the worst.
Well, no,
one.
it was the Rams.
Yeah, Seattle
lost
lost
the
the
Rams.
Rams. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
they lost because Seattle did give a late touchdown.
Yep.
And then I still can't believe Richard Sherman.
So the
got
thing
beat.
is, Seattle's 0-1. Lions are 0-1. You know, look at Seattle last year, and how they were, and they end up the Super Bowl.
Well,
But it's hard to say that for a Lions team because the Lions team can't even win a playoff game.
no, they can't even win a playoff game. They've won one since 1991.
I wasn't even born. I wasn't even a
You weren't
thought.
even
My
born
parents
yet.
weren't even married.
Good Lord.
Yeah, my brother wasn't even born. I mean, that's just sad.
That's just sad.
Very sad.
And I mean, the Lions have been rebuilding since when all of us were born.
Yeah. It's a little overwhelming, but every year's hopeful, and this year so far is not hopeful.
Well, because I don't know. Do you think the Ford's family better sell this team? My God.
We'll better stay in Detroit.
Let's see. If the Lions were bought by a new owner, I definitely would have them change the colors. Definitely change everything linked. I mean, you look at what happened with Cleveland. Art Modell went to Baltimore, so see what happens.
There's a lot of rebuilding to do, but I'm still hopeful for this year. You know, it's just a slump and a stump in the year.
Might as well put your hopes to bed.
Nope. He's still
You're
wide
gonna
awake.
put your hopes to bed,
It's
sunshine.
wide awake. It's wide awake.
It's wide awake.
Yep.
They
Still
ain't gonna
hopeful.
win another.
Coming from a person in Detroit who likes the Dallas Stars, so we'll leave it to rest.
You like the Dallas Stars?
No, I'm talking about Sam.
Oh,
If you like the Dallas Stars, then he would have been. He would
I'm
have.
a-
He would have loved
I
it.
only like the teams that are in the city I was born in.
hey, the Tigers are bad this year.
So I still support them.
Hey,
Still watch the games.
Kansas City Royals are the new team of the new team of between Taorminas this year.
What?
Yep.
Ian Weatherspoon would not agree with that.
No, I don't even agree with that.
I don't know about
Kansas
that.
City Royals. are
What
the
type
new-
of person are you to say that the Kansas City Royals are the between Taorminas team? That is not true at all. Get your facts straight. You support the Kansas City Royals, the Cleveland Indians, and the Chicago White Sox. What type of man are you? And the Twinkies.
I'm a winner.
Or so you claim.
I'm a winner.
Yeah, that's what they all said about the
But
Dallas
you support
Stars.
the Dallas Stars. Thank you. Exactly.
I do support the Dallas Stars, and they won't be a playoff team this year, Sunshine.
Yeah.
You Detroit Red Wings are not going to be making the playoffs this year, Sunshine, because you're in a very tough Eastern Conference this year.
6 out of 7 playoff appearances in the last 7 years. That's pretty good, huh? You think they're gonna do it again? I think I'm going 7 out of 8 this year again.
The East is weak. The West
East is
tougher.
weak. The West is better. West is much tougher.
And he's
So
Get
it's
your facts straight.
So it's a playoff. Another playoff appearance for the Red Wings this year, then, huh?
You won't make it this year.
Okay.
all
We'll
right,
see.
any final thoughts?
I think we're good.
Lions
At
are screwed.
the heat temperature's up here.
All right, we'll be right back with Between Taorminas on Intense Between Taorminas on ONTV.
Hey y'all, come on down to Friendship Park for Barn Days on September 12th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. We got pony rides, a pet and farm, games, inflatables, and so much more. Plus the food is just amazing. Maybe enjoy a hayride with the family. But watch out, there's some people around here that don't know the Civil War is over. The cost is just $5 per car, so don't miss Barn Days, September 12th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Friendship Park. If y'all want more information, call 248-391-0304, extension 305, or check out oriontownship.org. Make a trip over to the Orion Arts Center to enjoy some family fun and fresh food at the 2015 Lake Orion Farmers Market. Every Wednesday through October 21st from 2 to 7 p.m., local vendors will bring their farm fresh produce, baked goods, and more for the parents while the kids have some fun playing games or making crafts. Remember to come often as vendors change from week to week as new crops come into season. For more information on the Lake Orion Farmers Market or to sign up as a vendor, visit lakeorionfarmersmarket.com.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Well, guys, let's talk about college football. We had Michigan, the state of Michigan, dominant over Oregon. Let's talk about, you want to talk Michigan first or Michigan State?
Do Michigan.
All right, Michigan beat Oregon State. Is Michigan back, or did Michigan
They're
become
still dead!
Oh, okay, explain this.
Here's why! I know Jim Harbaugh Mania's back and all that, but look at the schedule. You can see at least they're not going to beat BYU. They're not going to beat Michigan State.
They play UNLV this week.
They're not going to beat Ohio State. And I don't know if they're going to beat Penn State. Because you look at this Michigan team.
They play UNLV this week, so go ahead.
I think they'll beat UNLV this week. But here's why. They ain't going to beat. They got to win a rivalry game. I just don't see them beating Michigan State or Ohio State or BYU.
BYU's not a rival, though.
BYU just beat Boise State, and then they went on a Hail Mary to knock off Nebraska. Now, I can understand that Jim Harbaugh's trying to bring back Michigan football, you know what I mean? Like, they're bringing back all the power runs, the running attack that they used to be. It's going to take maybe about another year before we say Michigan football's back.
I'd have to agree with that. I mean,
You agree on that? You two agree? Wait,
I was
you two agree?
somewhat agreed, not to his
Okay.
extent, but
Okay.
I grew up a U of M fan. I don't go to MSU, or I'm not going to go to U of M either, so I can kind of go on both sides and kind of the realistic aspect of it. But I was always a U of M fan. I have faith in Jim Harbaugh, and I saw a lot of good things in Oregon State, and I also saw a lot of good things against Utah.
Oregon State was undermanned, though.
But hey, a win's a win. You still put 35 points up, and you still only allowed 4 yards after the
Jake
second half.
Rudock is not that good of a quarterback. My God.
It's only week 2 of Jim Harbaugh. You still got to wait. There's
But
still a lot of
he
time.
wants to run the ball a lot. You know what I mean? He prefers to run it a lot.
And you saw what happened, and it did. It worked out.
Mm-hmm.
But
they want to go back.
But what I'm concerned for is a defense that's going to be more, that will be more than Utah and Oregon State. There's going to be, you have MSU's defense, you have Ohio State, you have BYU. Those are right there 3 defenses who I think can shut down U of M's offense. And U of M honestly is going to have some pretty big trouble this year.
I agree.
But I mean, from an honest aspect, I think they're going to have pretty big trouble. But I still have faith that they can work their way up the next couple of years. I think it'll take more than just 1 or 2 years to build it back up.
I think they're an 8-4 team this year. I just don't see them beating Michigan State, Ohio State, and
8-4 if we're lucky. If we're lucky, getting a good rival win against if the only thing that'll get U of M out of a slump the slump is a win against Ohio State or MSU.
I just can't see it happening.
I can't see it happening either, but
No.
it's
No.
very.
Well,
It's not that it's likely, but you look at the games every year; they're never blowouts until the complete end.
I
And
agree.
honestly, at this point, U of M, I think the way they are now is not a fourth quarter lacking team. They're a team under Jim Harbaugh who can defend themselves still in the fourth quarter, not fall apart. You look at 2 or 3 years ago when we played Ohio State, lost by 1 point. Ohio State was a huge favor in that game. U of M had I think they had a young quarterback at the time, and we still won.
Devin Gardner.
Yeah, Devin Gardner. We went and almost stunned them. You know, and they think they came to the big house almost done. Yeah.
Well, that would have been devastating.
And that so, but you think it's a rivalry game. There's a lot of emotions playing. It's going to be more than just who knows how to play football. It's going to be who wants it more. And I think the only way that U of M can get out of it in the next couple of years is if they want it more than the other team, especially a team like MSU or OSU.
I really like Jabari Peppers a lot. I think he's a good player.
He's been doing good.
Topics a little bit. Michigan State beating Oregon.
Very impressive.
Very impressive.
Very impressive.
What's your thoughts on that, Andrew? You go first.
They played the way that the defense held up the last 5 minutes. And the way the defense held up and the way the offense played. You know, you would have liked to see Connor Cook maybe produce some more in the last 5 minutes. You know, they're up 31-28 or 31-21. You know, maybe score a touchdown, get a field goal. You know, just something more than just staying at that 31 number. You know, you see how productive they were doing and how good they were doing, and you can't just get a scare like that. You know, you have a 3rd and 10, you get a sack, and it's 4th and 16 right at the end, and they stop them. That's great, good defense, but you're going to get an Ohio State offense or Ohio State defense. Even if you get if the MSU played the way they did, a Michigan defense, who will come in, who with the corners that U of M have, someone like Jabari Peppers will come in there and you know they'll pick off those balls from Connor Cook, where Connor Cook's throwing Matthew Stafford pass right at the corners.
Right. You look at Michigan State. I mean, their defense is still there. You know what I mean? The only issue that I have is their corners. Their corners did very well against Vernon Adams. I was very impressed, and also Michigan State's running attack. Have you noticed in that game that the game was played at Michigan State's pace and not at Oregon's pace? Because you look at last year's game in Eugene, I mean, that was played at Oregon's pace. But this year's game was played at State's pace because, one, Michigan State won it because they ran the football. I mean, L.J. Scott is a very good back. You know, he had 2 scores. They had another back who had a couple scores. You know, if Connor Cook, all he has to do is manage the game, I had no problem with Michigan State. You know,
if Connor Cook, when I watched them play Western, I was my friend Jorge and I were watching the game, and we were thinking to ourselves, Connor Cook cannot play like this against Oregon.
No.
And what I noticed is that he somewhat did. But what was nice is that the team wasn't based just off of Connor Cook. You look at great teams, you know, they say offense wins games. You put the defense to win a championship.
Defense wins championships. Michigan State has a defense.
And they did. They held a very good Oregon team to 28 points, and even at that point they should have been even to 21 points because of you have imagine if the offense would have went at maybe a 38-21 or 38-28. Okay, you would have seen a distraught offense of Oregon going up against a very held high MSU defense who were up 10. They have the ball 2 minutes left. Let's just stop them. That's how you have to kind of look at it. It's like don't look at the what ifs, but look at the what ifs as well and see what could happen.
Sam Cipher, simple yes or no. Simple yes or no. Do you think Michigan State goes undefeated, both of you guys, before Ohio State?
Yes.
Yeah, they're a very impressive team. You beat.
They're the only
Western's not a real team you can be impressed with.
They're the only team that give Ohio State problems.
Yeah, there will be. Ohio State, you look at who. I mean, I can't remember who Iowa State played, but when I watched them, I forget. But
Ohio State played Hawaii.
Yeah, they played first.
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, they played a good game.
Right.
But it's Virginia Tech. It's kind of like looking at U of M playing Oregon State. They played a good game, but it's Oregon Tech.
No, they didn't look good against Hawaii.
I felt like they would have put up more numbers.
Well,
they would have put up bigger
Michigan State
numbers.
plays a tough game with Air Force coming up, so that's going to be interesting, especially how they defend that triple option.
Yeah, but I believe that the MSU is a very, very, very good contender for the college football.
I think the Big Ten's going to get 2 teams in the playoff. I really do.
Yeah.
I think both Ohio State and Michigan State are college playoff teams this year.
Up with the Big Ten, down with the SEC.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have said that about the SEC. I think Alabama's overrated. I think Auburn's overrated.
They are. A team like Auburn cannot almost lose to Jacksonville
They almost lost
State.
to a Division II.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys got to take a brief break here.
All right.
All right. We'll be right back with Between Taorminas on ONTV. Hello, Lake Orion. It's Anthony Taormina, co-host of Between Taorminas. I want to let you know of a new show called History Now. In it, we're going to talk about global, national, and political events that occur in our lifetime. We're going to also have guests and also have co-hosts as well, and also plenty of surprises. Catch us on History Now here on ONTV. Hello, Lake Orion and Oakland County. This is Sammy Taormina here, talking a new show here called OA Now. We're going to talk about sports from football to basketball to volleyball to track and field to soccer, cross country, etc. here on OA Now on ONTV. Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. Very intense discussions today, gentlemen.
It's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's a lot like, it's not like when Sammy and Ian go debate, but it's pretty intense.
Kind of got to just poke at the thoughts of some others and see how much they can open up. So it's been good.
Andrew, you enjoying it?
Oh yeah.
This is what it's like every week.
Yeah.
Couple weeks, ladies and gentlemen, we have show 200 coming up. Our 200th anniversary of Between Taorminas in a couple weeks. Come watch it on ONTV. I want to talk about something, Andrew, you played last year. Lake Orion beat Troy 37-3, but this week they host Oxford.
Right.
They host Oxford. The 00 trophy's on the line. Sammy, I remember what happened last year. You were on tears last year. What's the difference from this year with the 00 trophy on the line?
You know what's missing here on this set? You guys know what's missing? The 00. Because it was it's like a symbol. The 00, it's like a symbol between two communities at Orion and Oxford. I know in 12, and 13, when we won that thing, that had to be one of the greatest things of your life.
Yeah, it was a good feeling going in there the second day, and it's Saturday. It was, I think it was like 2nd and 6. There was maybe about a little bit left in the third, and it was it was adrenaline. It was all it was completely. But I kind of have to, for this year and for a new start in Lake Orion football with how things have been going the last 2 years, my junior and senior year, is this year's team, what they're going to have to do is kind of put aside what you guys are talking about
Right.
the 00 trophy and, make Orion proud and Orion tough and everything. Because Orion tough, I think, has, in the long run, destroyed football players. They go into the year thinking, we're Orion tough. You aren't Orion tough yet.
You gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it. But the problem is, and I also have to kind of put some blame on coaches, is coaches will, if their starters, if their heart starters, not the starters who really can be out there, aren't doing well, they'll go pick the bag of JV, bring it on the table, pick some guys out of here, and try to
I agree
make
with-
and then that'll change how they
agree with
think.
that. I agree with that. You know what I mean? When you look at it there with that situation there, but when you look at the situation with the game, when you look at the situation with the team, I do agree with the depth that you have 85, 90 kids, and use the depth, use it. You know what I mean? Use it. And I mentioned that a couple weeks ago in my podcast, and with Lake Orion, the reason why this team was 0-2 was because, was one of the reasons I mentioned was, they've had some tough games. And, and last year in my podcast, I said, the depth. You got 85, 90 kids on there. And you know this. Use them.
Yep.
Use them, because you look at a team like Troy, who doesn't have a lot of kids. You know what I mean? You look at a team, there's like teams in Southland County don't have a lot of kids. That Hazel Park, it's a team that they struggle to find a football team. Use them.
Yeah, and from Ann would always tell me when I was young, a junior in senior high school, that you're gonna see this from a different perspective once you graduate. And now that I'm a freshman in college, it's and I'm an alumni at Lake Orion. Yeah. It's you have to look at it more of a realistic aspect rather than a player's aspect. Because a player's aspect, you always feel like things are somewhat gonna go against you.
Right.
But at this point now, you understand how the players are feeling now, and things are the same.
I agree.
This year, things are the same. Players are different. At the aspect, the coaching is honestly the same. And it may hurt some feelings here and there, but it's the truth, and it's got to get out. You don't take a team who has a lineman who are guaranteed one of the top 10 biggest combined linemen in the state, who will get dominated by a team like Troy Athens. Troy Athens had a good year this year, no hate towards them, but Troy Athens, we've only lost to them once, and that was in 2001.
Right.
2000. Even makes the point even better.
When you look at the way that this team started off, I mean, like, I kind of think, you know what I mean, maybe, looking at the schedule early on, when I looked at it from, even in my previous show from the podcast, I said, playing Chippewa Valley early in the year to start off, it kind of would be a tough matchup, but I did not expect to see that loss to Troy Athens coming. I mean, nobody did.
No.
But when you look at beating Troy, yeah, you're supposed to beat Troy. But now you're sitting in a place where you're in a very tough situation with Oxford. And this is a game you're going to need. You need this game. And Oxford needs this as well.
You're not only sitting in a place where you're 1 and 2, you're sitting in a division where a team like Clarkston's 1 and 2.
Right.
And a team like Troy Athens is back on top, right under West Bloomfield.
Right.
That's dangerous.
And you got West Bloomfield. Yeah, you're right.
You have two teams.
You got to win a game where you're not supposed to win. And that's going to be tough.
You have two teams who are at the top now compared to 2 years ago where we beat them by 30 points.
I agree with you. And,
it's fast.
I think the reason why playing that week 1 game against Chippewa Valley, I think hurt this team a little bit because now if you're 1-1, you're in better shape right now. This team should be 2-0 right now. Had not been for
3-0.
3-0. This team should be 3-0 right now. But
that's the same thing with last year. Last year we had the opportunity to play Wall Lake Northern. A team where there was a lot. I feel like there was a lot changing.
Talented, but
there was a lot changing last year.
Right. A lot changed.
Last year was the year where, when I was a senior, was the year where we don't have that veteran leadership like how teams in the past did. Teams in the past, they had guys like Zach Arnold, Jacob Miller, Chaz Miller, Sean Charette, all these guys where they were 3-4 year lettermen to hold the team on their back, And now it's like we have a team of seniors where it kind of feels that we were somewhat lost, especially with how many people were brought up my junior year. But one thing is that you take it last year, you win game 1, you go.
It's much better.
You go to Troy Athens 2-0, and you go try 1-0. You beat them. You beat Troy. You go to Oxford 3-0, like how Oxford was 3-0, and you don't make the mistakes and have that afraid underdog take. Yeah.
Do you think that what's happened in the past, that Lake Orion's gotten so used to winning that it's gotten complacent?
Yes. Yeah. It's kind of like it's just when I was a freshman, you're looking at. I was a freshman, going in the locker room with guys that have a state championship ring on their finger.
Mm-hmm.
I said this last week on BT, and I said this is that you got to toughen it up. You know what I mean? You got to be Orion tough.
Yeah,
it starts with that, and it's something that has to be addressed. You know what I mean?
One thing one last comment. One thing that people who aren't players and alum that won't notice is when I was a freshman, you didn't really set foot in the varsity locker area. Not because it was hazing or anything like that. It was because you respected it. You knew that those guys were there for a reason.
Right.
Tradition.
It was tradition. It was how it was. But then you go to when I was a junior, you had freshmen who were much more comfortable being on the varsity team.
Mm-hmm.
You have to earn your spot up there. The varsity players. It's not that it was we're discriminating against a younger age or anything like that. It's the fact that you need to respect where you're at. Just because you win a couple games, don't be cocky. Don't be posting online, oh, we won a game. You're still even like the varsity class now. They're 1 and 2 now. You
need
win.
To
stay offline.
Stay offline.
LO wins this week?
Yes.
Yes.
Lake
Elo
Orion
wins
can win
this
this week, but it's boiling down. Lake Orion football, when you boil it down, it's more than just coaches, it's players, it's the mentality of the upcoming class, and things got to change.
Yep. All right, everybody. Time to sign off, everybody.
Thank you, Andrew, for
No
coming
problem.
on.
Andrew.
Thank you.
Goodbye,
Thanks for having me.
everybody.